So, imagine having perfect English grammar. Like, you know that thousands of vocabulary words, you understand complex sentences, and you study every single night.
Oh, yeah. That is the absolute dream for so many of you listening right now. I mean, you work so hard to build that massive vocabulary, right? You just want to sound perfectly fluent.
Exactly. Now, I want you to imagine a real situation. I have a colleague at my office, and she is incredibly bright. Like, she knows exactly how to build perfect English sentences.
Wow. Well, she sounds like a very dedicated learner. You know, it takes a lot of time and energy to reach that level of grammar perfection in a second language.
It really does. So last week, she gave this massive presentation to our whole department. The boss was there. Everyone was watching her. And her presentation was totally flawless.
Flawless, right? Meaning it had zero mistakes. Like every verb tense was correct. Every vocabulary word was used in the right context. She must have felt so proud.
Oh, she was very proud. So at the very end of this perfect presentation, she smiled at the whole team. She wanted to remember the moment, right? So she looked at us and said, "Let's make a photo together."
Let's make a photo together. That is a very interesting moment. Tell me, did the people in the meeting room understand what she wanted to do?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, nobody was confused. We all gathered together and smiled for the camera. But as soon as she said it, it sounded just slightly wrong.
Right, it sounded unnatural. I mean, the meaning was 100% clear. Everyone knew she wanted a picture. But to a native English ear, those words simply, well, they do not belong together.
Exactly. It was like watching a beautiful car suddenly hit a bump in the road. In English, we do not make a photo, we take a photo.
Yeah, and this is exactly why we're talking to you today. Welcome to Talk English Daily, number 15 in our series. Today, we are going to fix that bump in the road.
We want you to speak smoothly. We want to show you the secret gap between textbook English and natural English. Let's practice that natural phrase. We take a photo. Slowly now. We take a photo.
Because, you know, your English textbook gives you single words, it gives you grammar rules, but natural English is about how words stick together. I actually have a similar story to share with you.
Oh, I would love to hear it. Hearing these real-life stories really helps us understand the challenge. What happened in your situation?
Well, I was teaching a class of intermediate students, and one afternoon, the sky turned very dark. A huge storm started. One of my students looked out the window.
Okay, so it is a big storm, lots of water falling from the sky. What did the student say when he looked out the window?
He pointed at the window and said, "Wow, it is strong rain today." He used the word strong to describe the water falling.
Strong rain. That is fascinating. I mean, if you think about it logically, his sentence makes total sense. We know exactly what he means. The storm has a lot of power.
Exactly. Logically, strong means powerful. Rain means water falling. So if you are translating from your native language, well, combining those two words seems perfectly correct.
But again, it hits that bump in the road. A native English speaker would never, ever say strong rain. We just do not combine those words.
Right. We never use that combination. Instead, a native speaker always says heavy rain. Let me say that again for you. Heavy rain, and slowly, heavy rain.
So this brings up a massive question for you as a learner. Why? Like, why do we say heavy rain instead of strong rain? Is there some secret grammar rule?
Well, that is the surprising part. There is no logical grammar rule to explain this. You will not find a chapter in your grammar book about heavy versus strong rain.
Right. I love to think of English words like puzzle pieces,
Right.
or like little magnets. Some magnets naturally pull toward each other. They click together perfectly.
Oh, I love that. That is a wonderful comparison. When words naturally pull toward each other, they click. But if you try to push the wrong magnets together, they repel, they push away.
Yeah, and when my colleague said make a photo, she was pushing the wrong magnets together. Her brain was translating word by word from her native language.
And when you translate one word at a time, you force the wrong puzzle pieces together. You end up with strong rain. It works, but the picture looks, a bit strange.
So our core mission for you today is simple. If you want to speak natural English, you must stop memorizing long lists of single, lonely words.
You need to start looking for the magnets. You need to learn which words simply stick together in English. This concept of stickiness is your ultimate shortcut to fluency.
Let's explore this stickiness. I know that English teachers and linguists have a very specific formal name for these word pairs. What is the official term?
The formal term is a collocation. A collocation is simply a pair or a group of words that are frequently used together by native speakers.
Right. They are used together so frequently that they sound perfectly natural. Other word combinations might mean the exact same thing in the dictionary, but they sound unnatural to our ears.
Exactly. Think of collocations as words that are happily married to each other. Even if your grammar is perfect, using the wrong combination, there's like breaking up a happy marriage.
Yeah, if you do not use collocations, you sound like a dictionary that is translating in real time. You sound a little bit robotic, right? You lose the rhythm of the language.
A translating dictionary is a great way to picture it. Let's look at the words make and mistake. In many, many languages, the direct translation is actually do a mistake.
That is true. In Spanish, French, Italian, and many others, you use the verb for do, so the learner's brain translates that directly into English.
But in English, those magnets repel each other. Do and mistake do not stick together. In English, the block of words that clicks perfectly is make a mistake.
We absolutely never say do a mistake. Let's repeat the natural version for you so you can hear the click. Make a mistake. And slowly make a mistake.
When you stop learning single words, and you start learning these whole blocks, well, it is a game changer for you. There are 3 huge benefits to learning these word chunks.
Let's break those benefits down. I think the first big benefit is speed. When you learn chunks, you can speak so much faster in real conversations.
Speed is incredibly important. When you learn collocations, your brain does not have to stop and search its internal dictionary for the right verb to match a noun.
It is like using a computer, right? Instead of downloading one file at a time, you download a whole folder at once. You just grab the whole block of words.
Exactly. If you know the chunk make a mistake, you just say it instantly. You do not pause to wonder, is it do or make or take? You just speak.
Yeah. And the second major benefit is instant understanding from other people. When you use these natural blocks, native speakers understand you immediately, without thinking.
This happens because native speakers are always predicting what word is coming next. Their brains are like, the autocomplete feature on your smartphone keyboard.
Wow, that makes so much sense. Like when I hear someone start a sentence with, I think I made a, well, my brain is already expecting the word mistake before they even say it.
Yes. Their brain is waiting for the sticky word. If you use the right chunks, you match their expectations perfectly. The communication is completely effortless.
And that brings us to the third big benefit. I call this grammar relief. Relief means taking away your stress. Learning these chunks removes so much grammar anxiety.
Because many of you worry constantly about grammar rules when you speak. But when you learn a collocation, the grammar is already perfectly built into the block.
Right. You do not have to build the sentence from scratch. The block is already perfectly formed. You just pick it up and drop it straight into your conversation.
So instead of worrying about the individual puzzle pieces, you just use the completed puzzle. But I am curious, what do these sticky word blocks actually look like in everyday life?
That is exactly what we need to look at next. There are many types of collocations, but today we are going to focus on the 3 most common types you will hear in everyday conversation.
Let's explore type number 1. This type is adjective plus noun. We use these chunks when we are describing the world around us. An adjective simply describes a noun.
Let's go back to the story about the storm. Listen closely to the unnatural version first. I want you to hear how the wrong magnets sound when they repel each other.
Here's the unnatural version. Unnatural, strong rain. It is easy to understand, but it clearly sounds like a translation. Unnatural, strong rain.
Now listen to the natural English version. Notice how smoothly it flows. Natural, heavy rain. I will say it again, naturally, then slowly. Heavy rain, heavy rain.
I want to pause here and think about why. Like, why do we use the word heavy? When I go to the gym, I lift heavy weights. Rain is just water. Why does it feel heavy?
That is a brilliant question. In English, we often describe weather by how it feels physically. During a big storm, the water falls with a lot of weight. It pushes down on your umbrella.
Ah, I see. It feels like physical weight coming down from the sky. It does not have muscle, so it's not strong. It has weight, so it is heavy. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. Understanding the imagery helps you remember the collocation. Well, let's look at another very surprising one. Think about a restaurant where you get a burger in 2 minutes.
Okay, a quick meal at a drive-through restaurant. If someone translates directly, they might use this unnatural phrase. Unnatural. Quick food.
Yeah, quick food sounds completely unnatural to us. The magnets do not click. What is the natural sticky combination that everyone uses?
The natural version is fast food. Natural. Fast food. We always say fast food. Let's practice that. Fast food.
We need to be very careful here because English loves to be tricky. You cannot say quick food. However, you can use the word quick to describe the meal itself.
That is such an interesting variation. It is perfectly natural to say a quick meal. Let's practice that one too. A quick meal. A quick meal.
So why is food fast, but a meal is quick? Usually, fast describes the system of cooking and serving the food. It moves at a high speed.
Right. And quick describes the amount of time you spend sitting down to eat it. You eat the quick meal in just 10 minutes. The difference is subtle, but important.
Let's do one more example for describing things with adjectives and nouns. Imagine you are at work and the entire computer server crashes. You have a situation.
A basic learner might say, "We have a big problem." And honestly, that is okay. People will understand you. It is not wrong,
Right.
but it is very, very basic.
Right. If you want to sound highly fluent and natural, you need a stronger collocation, natural, a serious problem, or natural, a major problem.
Let's repeat those for you. A serious problem. A serious problem. Notice how much more professional that sounds compared to big problem.
It sounds very professional. Now that we know how to describe things, we need to take action. This brings us to type number 2, verb plus noun.
Verbs are action words. And from my experience talking to learners, this is where A2 and B1 students struggle the absolute most. The action verbs are very tricky.
They are incredibly tricky. Learners frequently mix up basic action verbs like make, do, have, and take. They use the wrong action for the noun.
Let's look at a very common scenario, choosing between two options. Here's the unnatural version we hear all the time. Unnatural, do a decision. Unnatural, do a decision.
The translation from many languages tells you to use do, but in English, the natural action is make. Natural, make a decision.
Let's practice the natural chunk. Make a decision. Once, slowly. Make a decision. You are building a choice in your mind, so you make it.
Let's look at another huge trap for learners. Think about schoolwork that you bring home. Here's the unnatural phrase. Unnatural. Make your homework. Unnatural. Make your homework.
Because the student is writing on a paper, they think they are making something. But the natural English chunk uses the verb do. Natural. Do your homework.
Let's repeat that one carefully. Once naturally, do your homework. Once slowly, do your homework. It is a task, so you must do it.
Now, I have a really fun verb-noun collocation to share with you. This one actually shows a regional difference between English-speaking countries.
Oh, I love regional differences. It shows that even native speakers have different sets of magnets. What is the action we are talking about?
We are talking about washing yourself with water in the morning. In natural American English, people use the verb take. They say, take a shower.
Let's practice the American version. Take a shower. Take a shower. But if you travel across the ocean to London, you will hear a different verb.
Yes. In natural British English, they use the verb have. They say, have a shower. Let's practice that. Have a shower. Have a shower.
Both take a shower and have a shower are perfectly correct. It just depends on which country you are in. Americans take the experience. British people have the moment.
But the most important thing to remember is that nobody in any country says do a shower or make a shower. Those magnets will always repel each other.
Exactly. Now let's move to our third and final common type. Type number 3 is adverb plus adjective. We use this when we are emphasizing things naturally.
Emphasizing means making a feeling or a description sound much stronger. You want to show extreme emotion. You want to go beyond the basic words.
For example, imagine you have worked for 14 hours straight. You can say, I am very tired. That is perfectly fine, but it sounds a bit basic.
To sound truly fluent and natural, you should use this chunk. Completely exhausted. Let's practice. Completely exhausted. Completely exhausted.
Completely exhausted gives the listener a much stronger feeling. It means your energy is at 0. Here is another one. Sometimes in a business meeting, people try to sound smart.
They try to sound professional, and they use this unnatural phrase to show they understand something. Unnatural. Highly aware. Unnatural. Highly aware.
Highly aware sounds a little bit strange to a native ear. The magnets do not click perfectly. The natural, sticky version is fully aware.
Natural. Fully aware. Let's repeat that for you. Fully aware. Fully aware. It means your mind is completely open to the situation. You know all the facts.
Let me give you one last example for emphasizing naturally. Imagine you want to tell your best friend about an amazing new movie or fantastic book.
You want to experience it.
Yeah.
You might say, this book is strongly recommended. It is understandable, but strongly is not the best magnet here.
The much more natural chunk is highly recommended. Natural. Highly recommended, highly recommended. We use this phrase all the time for restaurants and movies.
So we just saw a lot of confusion in that last section, especially when we talked about the verbs make and do, like doing homework, making a decision.
Yeah, it is completely normal to feel confused by those two verbs. Mixing up make and do is probably the #1 mistake for intermediate English learners.
It really is the ultimate headache. Every single learner asks me the same question. They ask, what is the secret? Is there a rule to help me choose between make and do?
I have great news for you. I will gladly give you the golden rule. It is like a cheat sheet for your brain. I want you to listen to this rule very carefully.
Okay, my notebook is open. Let's start with the word do. When do we use the verb do? How do we know which actions require it?
The golden rule for do is this. Do is always for tasks, activities, and work. When you use do, you are focusing on the process of the action.
You are focusing on the process, the activity itself, the energy you are spending to complete a task. Okay, I think I understand that.
Now, what about the word make? The golden rule for make is very different. Make is for creating, producing, or building something totally new.
Creating something new. So do focuses on the process of working, but make focuses on the final product. It focuses on the result you create.
Exactly. Process versus product. Work versus creation. This rule will solve so many problems for you. Let's apply this golden rule, starting with the do list.
Okay, think about the process of an action. Example #1, do your best. When you try hard in a sports game, you are performing an action. You use do.
Yes, you are not creating a physical object when you try hard. You are just engaging in the process of trying. Let's repeat. Do your best. Do your best.
Example #2, do business. When two companies work together, they're engaging in a daily activity. It is an ongoing process of trading, so they do business.
Perfect. The process of trading. Let's practice. Do business. Do business. Here is example #3. Do the dishes or do the laundry.
These are household chores. You're using soap and water in a process to clean things. You are performing work. You are not creating new clothes.
Exactly. It is just a cleaning task. So you use do. Let's repeat. Do the dishes. Do the dishes. And here's a 4th example. Do a favor.
When you help a friend move into a new apartment, you are performing an action to help them. It is a task you complete for them. So you do a favor.
It is the activity of helping. Let's practice. Do a favor. Do a favor. You guys are doing great. Now let's walk through the make list.
Remember, we are switching our brains now. Make is for producing a result. It is for building something new that did not exist before. Example 1, make money.
When you go to your job and work, you produce a result. You create wealth in your bank account that was not there yesterday, so you make money.
You produce the result? Let's practice. Make money. Make money. Example #2, make a phone call. Think about what happens when you dial the numbers.
You are creating a brand new connection across the city with another person. You are producing a conversation, therefore you make a phone call.
You create the connection. Let's repeat. Make a phone call. Make a phone call. Example #3, make an effort. This one is very interesting.
When you push yourself really hard to study, you are producing mental energy. You are creating a result with your mind, so you make an effort.
You produce the energy. Let's practice. Make an effort. Make an effort. Example #4, make a promise. When you tell a friend, I will be there.
You are creating a brand new agreement between two people. The agreement is the product of your words. So you produce a promise, you make a promise.
Let's repeat that chunk.
Yeah.
Make a promise. Make a promise. Okay, this golden rule is fantastic. Process for do, product for make. But I have to push back a little bit.
Oh, you want to challenge the golden rule? I love a good challenge. Go ahead. What is confusing you about make and do?
Well, if make is only for building something new or creating a product, why do we tell children to make your bed in the morning?
That is a very funny point. Make your bed.
Right. When I wake up, I am not building a bed out of wood with a hammer. The bed is already there. I'm just organizing the blankets. It is a chore.
It definitely feels like a daily chore. And based on our rule about tasks and chores, it really feels like it should be do your bed, just like do the laundry.
Exactly. It's a cleaning task. So why in the world do native speakers use the verb make for this specific chore? Is the rule broken?
Haha. The rule is not broken, but you have found a great secret about the English language. Here's the truth. English absolutely loves exceptions.
An exception is when a specific word breaks the normal rule. Make your bed is simply an exception to the golden rule.
If you want to understand the history, hundreds of years ago, people actually did build their sleeping spaces every night with straw. But today, it is just a chunk you must memorize.
So the history created the chunk and it got stuck. We just have to memorize it. Let's practice this exception. Make your bed. Make your bed.
Are there other exceptions? Yes. For example, make an exception is itself an exception. You just have to learn these few odd blocks as they are.
But for 90% of your daily conversations, the golden rule works perfectly. Process for do, product for make. Keep that in your mind.
Speaking of keeping things in your mind, it's time for a very special section of our lesson. We call this section pocket words.
We're going to give you 7 everyday chunks. These are essential collocations. We want you to put them in your pocket and carry them with you everywhere.
For each of these 7 chunks, we are going to spell the main vocabulary verb very clearly, letter by letter, with a pause between each letter.
This will give you time to write them down in your notebook. So grab your pen. Let's start with pocket word chunk number 1. The chunk is bear in mind.
Let's spell the main verb bear, B-E-A-R, bear. The phrase is bear in mind. This chunk means to remember a piece of important information.
But why do we use the word bear? We are not talking about a big brown animal in the forest. Here, bear means to carry a heavy weight.
Exactly. You are carrying a heavy, important thought in your mind while you make a decision. It sounds much more natural and professional than simply saying remember.
Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine you are buying a new car. The car is beautiful, but bear in mind that the insurance will cost an extra $50 a month.
You have to carry that cost in your head while you decide. Let's repeat the chunk twice. Once, naturally. Bear in mind. Once, slowly. Bear in mind. Excellent.
Now, let's pull out chunk number 2. This is a very important safety phrase. The chunk is catch fire. Catch fire.
Let me spell the main verb catch. C-A-T-C-H. Catch. To catch fire means for something to start burning suddenly and accidentally.
In many languages, you translate this as get fire or take fire. But in English, fire is like a wild animal that jumps. The object has to catch it.
That is a great visual. The object catches the wild flame. Here is a real-life example. Be careful with that candle near the curtains. The fabric could easily catch fire.
Let's practice this crucial chunk naturally. Catch fire. Slowly. Catch fire. Great job. Let's move on to chunk number 3 for your pocket.
Chunk number 3 is keep a promise. Earlier, we used the golden rule to learn how to make a promise. Now we are talking about the next step.
Let me spell the verb for you. K-E-E-P. Keep. To keep a promise means you actually do the thing you said you would do. You protect your word.
Think of a promise like a valuable treasure. You do not throw a treasure away. You keep it safe. We never say do a promise or hold a promise.
And the opposite chunk, when you destroy the treasure, is to break a promise.
Yeah.
Here's a real-life example. I told my son I would take him to the park, and I always try to keep a promise.
Let's repeat this lovely chunk naturally. Keep a promise. Slowly. Keep a promise. Very good. Now let's look at chunk number 4.
Chunk number 4 is about extreme emotion. The chunk is lose your temper. Lose your temper. It means to suddenly become very, very angry and start yelling.
Let's spell the verb lose. L-O-S-E. Lose. Your temper means your emotional balance. When you are calm, you have your temper.
But when you get too angry, you lose that balance. You drop it. You cannot find it. We never say lose your anger. We say lose your temper.
Here is a real-life example for you. He is usually a very calm person, but he lost his temper when the computer crashed and deleted his work for the 3rd time.
Let's repeat this emotional chunk. Naturally. Lose your temper. Slowly. Lose your temper. Wonderful. You are doing so well. Let's move to chunk number 5.
Chunk number 5 is pay attention. This is a phrase you will hear in every classroom and every meeting in the world.
Let me spell the main action verb for you. P-A-Y, pay. To pay attention means to look, listen, or think about something very carefully.
But why do we use the word pay? Think about it. Your attention has extreme value. It is like currency. It is like money.
When you focus on someone, you're giving them your valuable currency. You are paying them. Please remember, in English, we do not say give attention or put attention.
Here is a real-life example for you. Please pay attention to the safety instructions before the airplane takes off.
Let's repeat it together, naturally. Pay attention, slowly. Pay attention. Perfect. We have 2 more pocket words for your toolkit. Here is chunk number 6.
Chunk number 6 is a phrasal chunk. Run out of. Run out of. It is 3 words that act as one sticky block.
Let me spell the first main verb for you. R-U-N. Run. To run out of something means to completely finish your supply of a physical item.
It means you have absolutely 0 left. The imagery is like a liquid running down to the very bottom of a container until it is dry.
Here is a real-life example for your daily life. We need to go to the supermarket this afternoon. We have run out of milk. It means the milk carton is totally empty.
Let's repeat this useful chunk. Naturally, run out of. Slowly, Run out of. Great. Now we're ready for our final pocket word, chunk number 7.
Chunk number 7 is save time. Save time. Let me spell the main verb for you. S-A-V-E. Save.
To save time means to do a task quickly or efficiently so that you have more free minutes available in your day.
This chunk is a very common translation trap, especially for our listeners who speak Spanish or French. In those languages, you win time.
Yes, many learners mistakenly say, I want to win time. But in English, time is not a game you can win. Time is a resource, like money in a bank.
Because it is a resource, you must put it in a safe place. You must save it. Here is a real-life example. Shopping for groceries online saves time because you don't have to drive your car to the store.
Let's repeat this final chunk. Naturally, save time. Slowly, save time. Excellent work. Put all 7 of those chunks in your pocket and practice them this week.
Practicing those 7 chunks will make your English sound incredibly natural. But what if you are currently using the wrong chunks? What if your magnets are broken?
That is a great point. Sometimes we learn the wrong combinations early in our studies and they get stuck in our brains. We need to fix them.
Let's move to our next section. We are going to look at 6 very common mistakes that learners make. We will smooth out those rough edges for you right now.
Yes, let's smooth it out. Here is mistake number 1. A student is excited about their birthday and they say, I will do a party next week.
I will do a party. Remember our golden rule. A party is an event you create. It is not a daily chore. So do is immediately the wrong magnet.
How do we fix it? The most natural fix is to use a very fun verb. You say, I will throw a party. Or you can simply say, I will have a party.
Throw a party. Why do we say throw? Think about throwing confetti in the air or throwing the doors open for your friends. It requires a burst of energy. Let's practice. Throw a party.
Here is mistake number 2. A student in a classroom raises their hand and says to the teacher, can you give me a question? Can you give me a question?
This is a classic translation trap. In some languages, you make a question or you give a question as a gift. But in English, the magnets are different.
In English, the sticky verb is ask. The fix is to say, can I ask you a question? We ask a question. Let's practice. Ask a question.
Let's look at mistake number 3. This one is probably the most famous translation mistake in the world. The learner says, I have 25 years.
I have 25 years. If you speak a Romance language, this makes perfect sense in your native tongue. You possess the years. You own them.
But in English, your age is not something you carry in a backpack. You do not own it. Age is a state of being. It is a description of your existence.
Because it is a state of being, we must use the to be verb. The fix is simply, I am 25 years old. Let's repeat, I am 25 years old.
Mistake number 4 is a quick review of something we learned earlier. A busy manager says, I need to do a decision about this project today.
I need to do a decision. Stop and think about the golden rule. A decision is a new path forward. It is a product of your mind.
Because you are producing a result, you must use make. The fix is, I need to make a decision today. Let's repeat, make a decision.
Excellent. Now for mistake number 5. A student is talking about a terrible fight with their best friend. They say, my friend and I had a heavy argument.
A heavy argument. Let's think about the imagery here. Earlier, we learned that heavy is used for rain because water has physical weight pushing down.
Exactly. We also use heavy for boxes or rocks, but an argument is about anger and emotion. It does not have physical weight.
In English, we compare anger to fire and temperature. Your blood boils. You need to cool down. So an argument has heat.
To fix this, we say, we had a heated argument. Or you can simply use an adjective of size and say, we had a big argument. Let's practice. Heated argument.
Okay, it is time for our final example, mistake number 6. Someone is talking about a tourist and they say, he has a strong accent. Let's fix this mistake.
Wait, just a second. He has a strong accent. Let me think about those magnets. I think you were trying to trick everyone listening.
You caught my trick. It is a fun little test for you listening at home. He has a strong accent is actually not a mistake at all.
It is perfectly correct. You do not say a heavy accent usually, and you definitely never say a big accent. Strong accent is the completely natural collocation.
We just wanted to make sure you were paying attention. An accent has force. It pushes through the words, so we call it strong. Let's practice. Strong accent.
That was a very clever trick. Well, we have covered so much incredible material today. It is time to summarize our core lesson for you.
What is the single most important takeaway for you today? The big lesson is this. You must stop memorizing long lists of single, lonely vocabulary words.
Learning single words will only make you sound like a translating dictionary. It will make your speech feel bumpy and robotic.
Instead, Start paying attention to the words that sit right next to each other. Look for the invisible magnets. Learn them as a whole family.
Learn them as a single chunk. When you drop whole blocks into your sentences, you relieve your grammar stress and you sound wonderfully natural.
Before we go today, we have a direct question just for you. We want you to scroll down and answer this in the comments section below.
What is a collocation or a word phrase that completely confused you when you first heard a native speaker say it? Share your story with us.
Yes, tell us in the comments. Or, what is a translation mistake that you always seem to make from your native language? We love reading about your experiences.
We also want to give you a quick sneak peek of what is coming next. In our next session, we are going to teach you something called the shadowing technique.
The shadowing technique is an amazing tool. We will show you exactly how to practice speaking English completely alone in your room without a partner.
It is a method that will hugely improve your pronunciation and your speaking rhythm. It is highly recommended, so you do not want to miss it.
Before we say goodbye, we want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. Next time you watch an English movie or listen to your favorite English song, try a new exercise.
Don't just listen for the basic single words that you already know. Instead, I want you to listen very carefully to the spaces between the words.
Listen to the spaces. Can you spot the invisible glue holding those chunks together? Can you hear the magnets clicking?
Once you start listening for these sticky blocks hiding in plain sight, you will never hear the English language the same way again. It will open a whole new world for you.
Thanks for joining us today on Talk English Daily.
Keep practicing those chunks, and we'll see you next time.